Welcome back. The National Student Financial Aid Scheme should investigate the possibility of a new fund for those students who do not currently qualify for funding. Well, that's the call made by the Department of Higher Education and Training. And the Public Investment Corporation and Government's Employees Pension Fund could be targeted for funding. But concerns have been growing over the capacity to administer the proposed fund.
NSFAS only gives loans to students whose parents earn a combined salary of less than 120,000 rand a year. Now it has been tasked with exploring the viability of funding the so-called missing middle. These are mostly children of teachers, police officers, nurses and other public servants who earn less than 200,000 rand a year. They do not qualify for NSFAS loans and cannot secure loans from the banks.
So you will have a family income, like let's say a public servant earning 125,000 rand. And then based on the non-availability of funding, that student is excluded. But that student is just as poor as the rest. So in terms of what we at the end want to achieve was that we need to identify and source sustainable funding.
But the Wits University SRC says NSFAS should not even be talking about creating a new fund when it's failing to address the current challenges. The SRC says 2,788 students, most of whom are in their final year, have been denied funding. This is despite the fact that they have passed their exams and meet NSFAS means test requirements. The SRC has threatened to cause disruptions at Wits and stage a sit-in at the Department of Higher Education offices if this issue is not resolved.
You are failing to maintain what you have, but you want to build more. We appreciate that the government wants to build another universities, but they are failing to maintain the universities that we have. That's the same problem with NSFAS. They keep coming with ideas instead of perfecting the ideas which are there. They have to perfect the ideas which are there, the policies, their policies moving forward. Because even now, there are students who are excluded in NSFAS because of documentation, that someone has failed to provide maybe an ID copy of a father. You know, sometimes fathers disappear. If the father is fighting the mother, he won't give you the copy, but you have been submitting the copy maybe for the past 3 years.
NSFAS has been allocated a budget of 9.5 billion rand this year to fund 415,000 university and FET students. NSFAS says this budget is not enough to deal with the high demand for funding. It needs 56 billion rand in the next 3 years to function efficiently.
In terms of funding constraints, we can indicate there is a definite shortage. But in terms of whether the business model is failing, I cannot agree with you.
Last year, students at various tertiary institutions staged protests against NSFAS, accusing it of not giving loans to deserving students. This led to NSFAS being given an additional 1 billion rand from the National Skills Fund. But the students say this has not done much to alleviate their plight.
We are asking that the minister must declare NSFAS as a crisis, engage with vets. If the minister says there is no money, we are saying, but it doesn't mean there won't be money for the whole year. Maybe the minister will get money in the next budget in April, but the students will be home by then. Allow the students to go to class while the country and the ministry are looking for funding elsewhere, but the students will be in class because anything can happen between now and December.
The Department of Higher Education and Training has admitted that there are some teething problems as far as NSFAS is concerned. A government task team is expected to submit the report on the proposed funding model to the Minister of Higher Education and Training, Blade Nzimande, by the end of March this year. Naledi Mulifi, SABC News, Johannesburg.